Ooh, Next Day Air says WNBA is boring. We need these girls to do stuff outside the court. What do you mean? Please clarify. Please clarify, Next Day Air. Because I know you're a big college basketball fan. I think there are a lot of people who love women's college basketball, but do not rock with the WNBA. And as someone who loves both the WNBA and women's college basketball, I am just like curious as to what exactly the disconnect is, and how can the WNBA gain these 10 million fans of women's college basketball and get them to support the WNBA? Like what can be done Next Day Air to get to get you to watch the WNBA? Let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this and you rock with women's college basketball, but you do not rock with the WNBA, let me know why. Like, let's actually have a conversation about this, because the WNBA, the players do stuff outside the court. Like, they do quite a bit of stuff in the communities where the teams are playing in. You don't I feel like in general they get less visibility than they did in college, partly because WNBA marketing, partly because the team marketing. I feel like sometimes it feels like some of these like South Carolina and LSU. Sometimes it feels like their media team, like the people who run their social pages and whatnot, are better, and they pump out better quality stuff than you see from a WNBA team. So, like, yes, that's a factor. WNBA players are doing other stuff, but you may not be seeing it because in general, the WNBA may not be doing as good of a job in terms of amplifying what these players are doing. But yeah, let me know in the comments, like, for those who don't rock with the WNBA, let me know why. I think ultimately the WNBA needs to solve that issue, because there's millions of people who who are currently supporting women's basketball. It's just there's a disconnect in terms of why they're not supporting the WNBA. Kyra says WNBA players will make more money when they negotiate their media rights. Yeah, that I believe that's coming up next year. And they can do that. Mr. G says Coach Staley is definitely developing Malaysia and has spoken highly of her attitude and willingness to learn and understand what it takes to get better. Pretty Ugly says basketball championships just seem to hate the idea of being in New York. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Travis said if the WNBA allowed teams to surpass the cap or pay a fee to go over the cap, that would help, at least in the short term. Possibly, yeah. That might help, yeah. Shree says, I don't think Fulwale has a bad attitude, but she definitely needs more discipline as a whole to know when and where to pull the flashy moves she tends to do at times. Yeah, she can be an offensive liability. Yes, I agree. Yeah, she just needs a little bit more discipline. That's all on the offensive and defensive end, in my opinion. Audrey says they do stuff outside the court. WNBA is bad at marketing it. Okay, Next Day Air says it's the social media area. To grow the WNBA, you need to do other things. I get what you're saying. Okay. I get what you're saying. Thank you for saying that. Next Day Air says, I like both, but let's be honest, they don't make the news. No controversy, no BS. People are messy. They want to see. Yeah. I think you have a point. Women's college basketball feels like it's everywhere when the season is going on, and it feels like the WNBA, when the WNBA is in season, it feels like sometimes like the WNBA is being drowned out. And it's partially because it feels like there's a lot more coverage of women's college basketball than the WNBA. It feels like a lot more reporters are talking about it. It feels like a lot more stuff is happening on social media. And the teams and the league does not help that process, because I feel like just compare South Carolina, compare LSU, compare UConn, compare what they do on social media to some of these WNBA teams, and it's night and day. It's night and day, and a lot of times it's students at these schools who are doing that stuff, you know. And for the WNBA, I don't know. Like, yes, some of these teams have really good social presence. Like, for example, I think the Las Vegas Aces, they have a really good social, and I do enjoy that. But like overall, I think the WNBA just needs to step up their game. You know, um, you're right. They don't make the news as much as in college. Um, yeah, I think you have a point. I think you do have a point. Kurt says, I guess I'm a Fever fan now, but that combo of Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Alyssa Smith would be deadly. I completely agree. Let's see what else what other advice do you all have for the WNBA? Let me know, because let's really talk about that. Let's really talk about that. So Shree says, I think the WNBA needs better marketing and social media marketing, because now the fan bases are starting to travel with women leaving their college and playing Yep. Yeah. Overall, I think you have a point, Shree. Um, there are a lot of fans who are like huge fans of certain players, and then when the players graduate and leave to go to the WNBA, it's like they kind of fall in a hole of sorts. And that's partially because a good amount of them do get cut. For example, Alexis Morris, Monica Sonano. These are players who were in the championship game, big deals for their teams, and had huge fan bases. And the fan bases, I'm sure, would have loved to continue to support their favorite player, but they got cut. Also, in general, the WNBA, in terms of marketing and promotion, they try, of course, and I know they're doing the best they can, but like there just needs to be a little bit more. They need to up their game a little bit more to capture people's attention. Mika says, was just going to say that Quita, WNBA needs a marketing team like LSU or South Carolina. They do a great job in college with advertising, 100%. And the thing is, these are students. Likely, these are students who are running these pages, and so can the WNBA? Here's an idea. Can the WNBA create a internship program for the people who run South Carolina women's basketball social, LSU women's basketball social, UConn's social, Tennessee? Like, can the WNBA partner with some of these colleges and get their social media people to work on WNBA stuff? Of course, pay them a salary. Of course, pay them a real salary, and see if you can help to develop them even further in terms of like, yes, I know you're killing it on the college game, but like, in terms of getting them to interact with pro athletes and whatnot. Like, I wonder if that will help the WNBA, because you have people who are killing it, absolutely killing it on the college end of things, but it feels like it's a drop off when it comes to the WNBA. So like that's for sure something that the WNBA needs to consider. But let's see what else y'all have to say about the WNBA and like um why you may or may not rock with the WNBA. Let's keep talking about this. B Girl 1214 says, honestly, it's hard to watch the WNBA. There are so many times where channels would rather air black screens because of contact issue. What? Uh, I'm I'm reading this. Honestly, it's hard to watch WNBA. There are so many times where channels would rather air black screens because of contact issues. Do you mean contract issue? B Girl 1214, can you please clarify? I don't totally understand what you're saying. Next Day Air says, I mean, something has to happen. People love negative things. The social media area is crazy. The NCAA tournament got all these views because of negativity. And let's be honest, there was a rich. Yeah. Yeah. You have a point. You have a point. People love controversy. And that's the thing, uh, controversy draws fans to, or casual fans and also, serious fans to tap in and to connect with a league. And yeah, you're right. Controversy, did bring a lot of eyes. Some of those 10 million people who watched the finals game, some of them probably was watching because they saw something that Caitlin Clark did, and it was some controversy around that, or like they didn't like Angel Reese, so they were watching it to watch her fail or something. Like there probably was people like that, and that for sure is a thing as well. So Pretty Ugly says that's why I say Boston at Fever, Clark at Seattle, and Angel at LA. WNBA needs to build rivalries the same way the NBA did with Bird and Magic. Jordan and the Pistons focus on marketing superstars more. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think the WNBA is trying. And I think the WNBA actually might have something, because you have the Las Vegas Aces, with Asia Wilson and them girls over there. And then you also have the New York Liberty with Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, yes, John Cole Jones, but like for the most part, it feels like the bigger build is the bigger build really is Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart versus Asia, and Kelsey and Jackie, Um, those are big rivalries already. And now in the middle of the country in Indiana, looks like you're gonna have Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Alyssa Smith. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good right there. If Indiana and Chicago can get a little bit more of a rivalry, that could help as well, to bring a little bit more attention. But I feel like you already kind of have some rivalries already. With this new Indiana team, possibly that helps a little bit. Yeah, Sheree, I agree that Aces have the best social media presence. I completely agree. Yes. Next air said City Colson said she knew it and was doing a show and we heard nothing about it. It'd be everywhere doing everything after winning it. Yeah. Yeah. She that she was doing a show with Teresa Plaisance. I forgot what network that was with, but yeah, it I mean I saw it, and mainly because I followed them on social media. But yeah, it didn't. I guarantee you, if, let's say, I don't know, pick two college players. Let's pick Paige Becker. Oh, if you could hit that like button, that'd be great. Let's pick Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd. Let's say they had a TV show. I guarantee you, let's say it's on the same network. I guarantee you, it would have gotten more play on TV. More networks would be talking about it. It would be everywhere. Everybody would be talking about this show that they had together. Because in general, visibility for WNBA players is just less. It's not great. That's not how I want it to be. But it just is. Audrey says WNBA also loses potential fan bases increase. Yeah, when those draftees get cut. Yes, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. You had Iowa fans who were ready to support the LA Sparks. And then they cut you know, they cut Monica Sonano as a big deal. You're gonna have Carver Hawkeye West in LA, and people would have came out and showed up to support. But when their player gets cut, then they're like, well, I don't want to support you anymore, because what it takes is a connection with the player. To me, it takes a connection with the player to be the plug to get college fans to become WNBA fans. Yes, you want them to be like, oh, I just love the game and I just want to watch and become a fan just because of that. Sure, that I'm sure that's what the WNBA wants, but people are attached to other people, so it's important for people when they're getting into the WNBA for them to have a player that they really connect with and a player that actually stays with the team. So that's for sure a thing. Frank says, I love both WNBA and women's college basketball. That's right, Frank. I do too. KRL says, I think Caitlin is going to the draft. I feel like she wants to play with Aaliyah. I agree. All right, WNBA does not market their teams. They do, but they could do a better job. They could do it 100%. They could do a better job. Next day air says they need more fights in the WNBA. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. Controversy does bring eyeballs. It just does. It just does. And that's something that the NBA recognizes too. That's something that basically all sports leagues recognize. No more no more fouls. What a great name. No more fouls says, I definitely agree on the need for more rivalries. One of the things that seemed to get lost when they stopped doing East versus West finals was yes. Yep. Yeah, I remember those. But the reason why I think here's the reason why I think they got rid of the West Coast and East Coast kind of conference stuff is because it got to the point where the East Coast sucked. The East Coast was terrible. And the West Coast teams were actually really good. And you had West Coast teams that had better records and didn't make the playoffs than some of these East Coast teams. And the East Coast was just terrible, like absolutely terrible for the most part. There was like a stretch where they were really bad. And I think that's why the WNBA was like, we can't have this where it's so lopsided in terms of talent. So let's just get rid of conferences in terms of the playoffs. Just the top 8 teams is going to make it. I think that's why they did that. They made that decision, but yeah. Pretty Ugly says proof the WNBA lacks marketing is the Final Four was great. Instead of building on the hype, they draft then cut many popular players, picks like Brie Beal, etc. Sticking with yeah. Fair enough. But I think there's a slight difference between WNBA marketing and GMs sort of looking out for the betterment of the league as a whole. So GMs are, the WNBA is it's a league of a maximum of 144 players. And so GMs are like, I just need the best people on my team, or it's like a politics stuff happening in the back end of things where they don't go for the rookies. And that's not a marketing call. That's a GM call. But I think GMs really need to consider the betterment of the league and of their team. Yes, it may take this person a little bit of time to get it together, but you're gaining a whole lot of likely financial support if you decide to actually play or decide to actually get some of these players to make the team. Like Brie Beal, cut. Destiny Henderson. I mean, she played last year or 2 seasons ago, but she was cut this year. Monica Sonano, Alexis Morris. There's a lot of other players who have been cut. And that's a huge loss, Audrey says there would be veteran players that won't see a minute the whole season. Why not develop the rookies instead and grow the game? That's because GMs possibly are afraid of their jobs also. And that's something that the league really needs to talk to teams and say, hey, I get it that you want the best players to play or on your team, even if they never actually play. But please give these rookies a shine. And the WNBA, maybe you have to give some incentives to teams. Maybe you allow teams to have 13 players instead of 12. Like something needs to be done to keep these college players. Maybe you set up something with the Players Association that allows each team to get some sort of incentive or something if they keep their first round draft pick. Maybe there's something that can be done. Can someone tell me if I am still live? I think my stream has gone out. Can someone let me know? Um, Guys, can you let me know if I'm still live? It looks like my screen is frozen. I am? Okay. Is my screen frozen? Can someone let me know? Is my screen frozen? Um, you're live. Okay. Well, I guess I'll keep going. It looks like my screen is frozen on my end, so um yeah. I guess well it's frozen on lottery results. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Well, I'm gonna keep talking because I feel like we're having a really, really good discussion, and I'm gonna try to troubleshoot my screen. All right. Okay, everyone. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep going, and I do apologize for I don't know whatever's going on with my screen with my video. It's not showing, but I'm gonna keep going. I am going to keep going. Oh, shout out to Next Day Air. Thank you so much. Next Day Air says, thank you for loving the game, college and WNBA, and even overseas. Let's grow the game for women. They deserve it, past, present, and future. Facts. 100%. Thank you so much, Next Day Air. I really do appreciate the support. I really, really do. Thank you so much. I thank y'all for watching and rocking with me and sharing y'all thoughts. Yeah, Travis, shout out to Next Day Air. Yeah, truly, thank you so much. I don't know what's going on with my video. It looks like it's overheating, so that's probably my big issue. But y'all, we continue to talk about the WNBA. We are continuing to talk about the WNBA, and we're going to keep going, even though the screen is frozen. So I hope y'all can still rock with me on this. But let's talk about let's talk about what's going on for the WNBA. Um, so B Girl 1214 says contract issues, my back. Some channels air black screen saying issues over ownership over airing rights. What? I'm s- I'm sorry. I'm a little confused. Sheree says, I love the WNBA and have been watching since I was young, but it decreased in popularity over the years. And I think because so many issues as a whole, starting from the top. Yeah, let's talk about those issues, Sheree. Let's talk about those issues, Sheree. Um Pretty Ugly says Dee Dee Richards was very popular in New York and they cut her to bring in Epiphany Prince, an old vet who didn't need or hardly use. Yeah. See, that's the thing about the WNBA that, like, to me, it does it. I get it, and I am all for vets getting their money 100%. I have no issues with vets getting their money. However, it's sometimes it's like, come on, like, can can we have players who have a fan base and also are not liabilities on their teams? Can we have them actually stay on a team? Like Dee Dee Richards was a huge marketing person. Huge. She's everywhere, going to NBA games and whatnot. And you just saw Dee Dee Richards' face. You saw her on social media a lot. Like, she was everywhere. And for New York to get rid of her, that's a huge loss. That is a huge loss. And I think that there was a lot of fans who really rocked with Dee Dee Richards, and they wanted to continue to see her play in the WNBA. And now they don't have that opportunity because now she's gone. You know, that is a big deal. That is a very big deal. So I don't know. It's kind of problematic. Uh kind of annoying a little bit, but it is what it is. It is what it is. What else y'all got to say? Um B Girl 1214 says social media marketing outreach in their communities. Their games need to be more accessible on more TV. Oh, I get what you're saying. I do agree with that. I do agree. Girl is that the WNBA needs networks that would actually give them money. Have platforms like Meta, and you have platforms like Twitter, Twitter or X, that are like, hey, we'll give you some money. We will give you some money. And so that's if you can't get on TV, you're less accessible. But also a thing to know is that people aren't really watching TV as much anymore. Also, so that's definitely a thing. That is definitely a thing. Yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else should we talk about? Next there Eric says, I need video. I know. I know. I know. I'm trying. I'm trying. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I've been having so many issues. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna keep talking though. We can keep talking. KRL says, right, vets can get their money, but we need to be real about the health and if they can really play. Most of them are hurt on the sidelines. All yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. That's Shree says that's the same thing with Taya Cooper in LA. Now she's gone to yeah. Taya Cooper was very popular in LA as well. And that's one of those things where you need players who not only players who are good, and Taya Cooper, I thought she was pretty good. Definitely not enough to start, but play her right at the bench. Yeah, sure. And also it seems like she may be coming back. Taya Cooper may be coming back to the WNBA, or at least Athletes Unlimited play. So also Taya Cooper's been really killing it with. She's been doing she's been working with LSU, and she's been putting it on her social media. She's doing like some sort of styling or something like that, something that she's been doing with their photo shoots and stuff like that. And so she's been rocking that for sure. Kyra says, I've seen the screen B Girl was speaking of. The game is listed to come on a certain channel, then oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, I understand now. So, yeah, that stuff does happen. Sometimes that stuff pops up, and then also there's times where a game is supposed to come on, and then it says something like you can't watch it because I don't know, something about the location that you're at or something like that. Like it's blacked out because of your location as well. So that's a thing as well. Yeah. Yes. Goodness rated Boo says Taya Cooper has over 1 million followers on Instagram. Yeah. And she got cut from the WNBA. Like I get it. I understand that you as a GM, you may make a decision like, oh, I want to cut this player. But also, if you think about the amount of people that you now cannot reach anymore because they're done, their avenue to the WNBA was Taya Cooper. Now Taya Cooper's gone. So that's for sure a thing, guys. That is for sure a thing. Carol says, I'm hoping Jonquil Jones goes back to Connecticut. She's not going back to Connecticut. No. If I was a Connecticut fan, I would say I don't want you to come back. If I was a Connecticut fan, I would not want her to come back. Next day air says Quita and all of her subscribers need to apply for their social media team. Apply for the social media teams. We have great ideas, but why did it take all these years for them to figure it out? They don't want that NBA money. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people who have great ideas for these teams. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Um a few big games every WNBA season they should play at a major university campus. WNBA teams are far spread. Aces versus Liberty plays at South Carolina or Florida. Now that B Girl 1214, that is a phenomenal idea. That is a phenomenal idea. That could be kind of awesome. That could be kind of awesome. The WNBA going to different colleges and playing there. I will say that, the WNBA does play in during the summer. So like, the the students won't be out to watch these games and whatnot, but having them play on campus to me would be huge. And also the WNBA just doing more during women's college basketball season. Like, yes, there's been a lot of WNBA posts around the lottery, the draft lottery today, and I've been seeing the last couple of days. There've been a lot of stuff, but like for the most part, the WNBA isn't doing that much in terms of um, interaction with college women's college teams. Like I think there needs to be not every WNBA player goes overseas to play. Each WNBA team has a player that they pay for sort of marketing purposes and a player that sort of stays in the US. Why not have those players do tours around women's college, like around the women's college basketball space? Have you know I know some players are like coaching for certain teams, but like you also have players who are just here and not, they're training or doing whatever, but they're in the US. So why not have them go to various games, in basically any game that's on ESPN? Why don't you have WNBA players in attendance? Any women's college basketball game that's on ESPN. Why not have WNBA players in attendance? Like, why not? It makes sense because as the game is happening, they cut and they say, hey, XYZ person from this team is in attendance. It makes a lot of sense. Like today at the game is happening in Unkinsville. And we have there was a couple WNBA players during the South Carolina Utah game, and they talked about it. They were like, XYZ is here, they even interviewed Ty Harris. Ty Harris was there, and they interviewed her. Again, that's what you should be doing. But we should have players at every single game. Every single game. Next area says, I agree. Aces versus Liberty on a college campus. Indeed. Yep. That would be great. Sheree says, definitely being more connected with women's college basketball and space would be major highlight of the WNBA. Facts. It would be huge. It would be huge. Oh, Mercury and the Sun at Rutgers? Now that could be pretty interesting. Yeah. I mean, Rutgers has a really good fan base. That would be big.